Good morning and welcome to day two. I should say good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you might be in this world. My name is Caroline Silk and I am your mindset nutritionist, and I am extremely excited to share with you day two of the missing piece of your weight loss puzzle. And day two is all about why your body feels different. So, what is really happening in your midlife and what isn't? So, in day one, if you didn't catch it, please let me know either in the chat. But I did send out the email and there was the replay. So, I highly recommend you have a look. However, before we go anywhere today, let's just quickly recap what we covered yesterday. And yesterday was all about the missing piece. So, understanding and knowing what to do hasn't been enough. Not because you failed. I know you know what to do. As I said yesterday, everyone says to me, Caroline, I know what I should be doing. I know what I should be eating. I know how I should be moving my body, but I just can't get my head in the right place. But because most approaches never address why your body and behaviors respond the way they do. We talked about how your nervous system drives your behavior, how your body defaults to what feels safe and familiar, and why forcing change creates resistance rather than results. And the most important takeaway from day one was this: nothing is wrong with you, despite what you've thought in your head of yours. Nothing is wrong with you. Your body has been responding to stress and protection. And even though you might have seen it as being disobedient, it's been looking after you, it's been protecting you. Your body has been responding to what it knows, its history, its thoughts, your habits, your behaviors. So you've been frustrated by, the weight that won't budge or it does budge and then it comes straight back. Or that food noise that's constantly going on in your head. Or the dreaded 3 p.m. crash when suddenly you find yourself in the kitchen looking for something sweet just to tide you over to get you to the end of the day. Or maybe there's been emotional eating and you keep promising yourself you're going to stop. Or potentially there's like that all or nothing cycle, which is just a constant thing. And you just like, I've had it now, so I'm just got to finish. And you finish the whole thing. And then maybe it's like that repeating cycle of I'll start again on Monday. So it's all these things that are you, that is your nervous system, that is your regulation, that is your body protecting you. That's what it knows. So until we do something different, until we change that behavior, things remain the same. So right now, potentially you are trying to fix that feeling of sort of lack of consistency, the cravings all the time, the overeating at nighttime, the overeating on the couch, that 8 or 9 o'clock snack or the snack before dinner, the low energy in the afternoon, that feeling of that inability to stay on track and that belief that something's wrong with you. But as I said in day one, nothing is wrong with you. Your body is just keeping you where it knows that it lives, that it's safe, that it's familiar, that it's protecting you. But I know what you really want is ease and this certainty in a path that finally works for the woman that she's becoming today. The Weight Loss Accelerator program, the one that I'll be going into detail later in this week, is built exactly on these three pillars, which will give you the certainty. One, it's the mindset launchpad, where we begin by don't you love that word? Rewiring your subconscious patterns, those beliefs, those emotional triggers, those behaviors that have kept you stuck potentially for years. And that's when emotional eating dissolves and food noise gets quiet, self-sabotage loses its power, and the best thing is consistency just becomes natural. And for me, this is the foundation because without it, nothing will change. Without getting into your subconscious mind and making the changes at that level, because you now know how powerful your subconscious mind is, making 96 to 98% of your daily decisions, we need to change it at that level. The second thing that we work on together is the nutrition code. This is about real food for real life. I literally just had a conversation with a client about her going out on a Friday night and having what she endearingly calls as brown food. Now, it's not about beating yourself up over that. It's about saying, okay, this is what happened. How can I do it differently moving in the forward? This is about a real life approach and navigating through your everyday without diets, without tracking, without rules, without punishment. It's just creating simple meals that are going to support you. It's going to support your metabolism. It's going to support your weight loss, and everything's going to be great. And the beautiful thing about it is that the weight loss then will respond without the fighting, without the battle, without the struggle. Because as you now know, we don't want to use those words. Everything is working out for you. Weight loss happens with ease. It's all going to happen. And then the third and final pillar of the work that I do with my clients is all about what I call the lifestyle upgrade. And because it's having all of, obviously, your subconscious mind in place, eating foods that are going to nourish your body rather than going to deplete you, and then supporting your body with better sleep, stress tools, which we'll be talking more about today, movement, and routines that anchor this new version of you, this new healthier, wealthier version of you. And this is all about where weight maintenance stops feeling like effort and it starts feeling like who you are. It becomes your identity. And this creates seamless, sustainable, what I call mindset first transformation. And today is going to build directly on that because once you understand and appreciate and accept that you are not broken, the next question is always, okay, but why does my body feel so different now? I want to share with you something that I see again and again with the women I work with. Many of them tell me, I just used to be able to do this. I could decide what I was going to do and it would do it and the weight loss would come off. Or I could push through it. Or you could diet, or you could just cut out food a little bit, or you could exercise a little bit harder and it worked. And now that we are the women of a certain age, as the French like to say, une femme de certain âge, we feel like our body's pushing back, like it's not cooperating anymore, like something's changed and it doesn't necessarily feel like it's in a good way. One woman said to me, I feel like my body has turned on me and I actually hate my body. And I just remember saying, what if your body hasn't turned on you? What if it's trying to protect you? And what if you started to love and appreciate your body? How would that make you feel? And that question alone changed so much for her because, as I said, she wasn't failing and her body wasn't broken. What happening was she was using old strategies in a body that no longer tolerate that same level of stress. And when we use old strategies and when we continue to repeat the old strategies, we are going to get the same results. And that is the heart of today's lesson. That's what I want to share with you. So, what is really changing and what isn't? Okay, let's talk about stress because this is the missing piece that most women completely underestimate. We think about stress, we usually think about work pressure, we think about financial, we think about family demands, and we think about, especially for women, that emotional load on us. But the thing is, your body doesn't distinguish between different types of stress. It doesn't go, oh, well, this is the emotional stress I'm feeling, and this is the financial stress I'm feeling, and this is the physical stress I'm feeling. From your nervous system, from its perspective, stress is stress. And that also includes, dieting and restriction. It includes skipping meals. It includes ridiculous intense exercise without recovery and really beating your body up from a cardio exercise point of view. It also includes you constantly trying to be good. I'm trying to do it better. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to be good. Okay, that's this pressure that you're putting on yourself, and that is a form of stress. And also, it's frustration and the self-criticism that goes inside your head. Excuse me. Remember we talked about that food noise yesterday, that monkey mind chatter, the beating yourself up. That is a form of stress on their body because, as I said yesterday, every negative thought you think puts a chemical reaction throughout your body. And if it's a negative thought, it's highly likely that it's a negative chemical reaction in your body. So I hope you can understand that even though you might perceive stress in various buckets, all of these things, from the body's point of view, is stress. And what happens is, as we age, our bodies become less tolerant of stress. It's not weaker, it's not faulty, it's not incapable, and our bodies are not broken. I think it's just less willing to live in the chaos. And I know that I feel that often. It's like there is something stressful going on, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to remove myself from that, or I'm just going to step back, or I'm just going to pause, or I'm not going to go into that. I don't want to, because of my awareness around it, I don't want to choose to spend time thinking about it or going into it. Now, yeah, yes, I'm not saying I am this invisible shield around me about stress because life sends us many curveballs and we have stress. I get that. I appreciate, I do that. But because of my awareness, I think I'm allow myself to step back and remove myself wherever I can because I want to protect my body and I want to protect all of me. So when stress is high, what happens is your body's going to move into this protection mode. And when it is in protection mode, guess what? Fat loss is not a priority. It is goes back to the primal brain. Fat loss is just like I need that fat in case I have to run up a tree and save myself from a saber-toothed tiger. Safety becomes the priority. And that's why pushing harder often leads to stronger cravings, lower energy, stalled weight loss, and stubborn belly fat. This isn't your body sabotaging you, it's your body doing its job. That part of the brain hasn't changed for centuries and centuries and centuries. And the thing is, around all of this and surrounding all of this is what I call the cortisol misunderstanding. Cortisol gets blamed for everything in midlife. But rather than looking at it with that negative mindset and that battle and that hard work, cortisol isn't the enemy. It is actually a survival hormone. It has a very important purpose in your body of keeping you in survival mode because that is the number one objective of the subconscious mind is to keep you alive and safe and well. And cortisol is it is one of the leading actors in that. So the problem isn't cortisol itself. It's living in this constant elevated stress all the time, which maybe you haven't recognized because we think of stress as being, oh my God, when it just could be this low-line stress going on in your life without any recovery. So what the body is constantly hearing, stay alert, hold on, don't let go yet. And that is a body that doesn't release the weight because it's in this state of survival. So when we change that, and obviously that's what I do in my program, specifically with the Mindset Launchpad, and really just allowing yourself to change the way you think. And then obviously with the nutrition code, we then support that with real food that's going to nourish you. And then obviously with the lifestyle upgrade, we then take all of those things, the hormones, the sleep, the exercise, the movement, which is going to support you, not stress you out. But let's bust some of the biggest myths. Despite what you may have heard, in midlife, at this fabulous age that we are, our metabolism does not die in midlife. Okay? You are not suddenly incapable of losing weight. And that is something that I hear often. Now that I'm in menopause, now that I'm in perimenopause, now that I'm in postmenopause, this is just the way I'm going to be. I'm just going to carry this weight. I've got this new belly fat. Yes, you might have to, you might get some new belly fat as the change in your hormones happen, but that doesn't mean it has to stay there. If you accept that it's going to be there, guess what? It will stay there. But you are not, now that you're a certain age, incapable of losing this weight. You are absolutely capable of losing the weight. Because as I'm sure you are starting to understand, and this is what I want for you out of this challenge, to open up to the fact that this time of your life, it needs to be different. This is not something that's happening to you that is beyond your control. What does happen is this. The strategies that work when your stress tolerance was higher stop working when your stress load increases. And instead of changing their strategy and their approach, what happens is women blame themselves and they think it must be my age. It's just my hormones. This is how it is now. As I said to you, this is a comment that women just say, oh, this is how it is now. And I go, is it? Because if you say it is, it will be. But if you want to change it, we can. And that belief alone creates more stress, which makes weight loss even harder. And we don't want to do hard. We want ease. When I work with my clients, obviously they give me feedback. We're in constantly weekly contact. And once, as I said to you yesterday, I constantly get this thing of like, I can't believe how easy it is. But we're also getting that once I stop fighting with my body, everything changes. For the first time in my life, they feel calm around their weight loss. And understanding why their body was responding the way it was and realizing they weren't failing, that changes everything. And when you reduce the stress, the body finally responds. And these women aren't losing weight because they're trying harder, because they lose and release and drop and shed the weight because they're finally working with their bodies instead of against it. They have a mindset that supports them and promotes them and wants to create this ease. Now I want to answer a few of the most common questions that usually come up here. So, 1, do hormones matter? Yes, of course they do. Our hormones are our key messenger courier service within our body, delivering messages all over our body constantly. We have over 50 hormones in our body working extremely hard for us. But they don't need to be blamed. As I said, we don't need to blame cortisol. Hormones respond to stress, they respond to nourishment, how you eat, what foods you eat, they respond to your sleep, they respond to how you move your body, and they keep you safe. They are not the enemy. Am I saying to you, okay, I don't want you doing cardio? No, I'm not saying that at all. I want you to choose an exercise that supports you, that's not punishing you. I want you to choose an exercise that feels good for you. If you are walking into a gym and you are going, oh my God, this is the last thing I feel like I can't stand this. What am I doing here? I hate this. Everyone's looking at my body. What am I doing? I just want to die. That is keeping you in a state of stress. If you are doing a yoga class in your bedroom, if you're doing a dance around your kitchen, if you are going out for a beautiful walk on a fabulous day, or even when you're rugged up in your parka and your boots and you're doing something outside and you feel good, that's what I want you to do. I want you to move your body in a way that feels good for you. Now, if you enjoy cardio and you love it, great. But I would also ask that you balance it with some gentler exercises, some yoga, some deep breathing, some Pilates, some calm, some stretching, some gentle walks, so that you're creating that balance in the body. That's obviously something I go to in much deeper dives in the program. You might have the question, does this mean I need to eat more? Often, yes. Because what happens is women are skipping meals and they are thinking if I don't eat, lunch or if I skip dinner, then that can cause potentially stress on your body. In the nutrition code, you will discover how to eat mindfully so that you're actually listening to your body. Mindful eating is being aware of your hunger and saying, great, I'm hungry. How am I going to nourish my body? And then as you eat, rather than just eating mindlessly, you're checking in with yourself and saying, all right, how do I feel right now? Am I content? Am I satisfied? Am I full? Because under eating or starving yourself is actually, again, another stressor in your life and on your body. And we don't want that. So what am I asking you to do differently? I'm asking you to stop adding the pressure and start creating stability. Doesn't that just feel better? It's like when I said it, it's sort of like, just stop adding this pressure to yourself and start creating stability and calm. Because when you do that, your body is going to respond in a way that you are going to be doing your happy dance. So today's focus is not about fixing your metabolism. That's a task that I do with my clients. It's about reducing the internal pressure your body's under. So what I'd like you to do is choose one thing today that lowers your stress. Now, if you have been skipping meals, start paying attention to your hunger and eating when you are physically hungry. Now, a little bonus tip. First of all, if you feel the hunger, have a glass of water, wait a couple of minutes. Either the hunger will disappear because your body was actually thirsty, or it will return. If it returns, you go, great, how am I going to nourish my body? And then eat till you are content and satisfied. Look at your meals. Another way you could do this to lower stress. Look at your plate. Is there protein there? Think about adding protein onto your plate if you don't have it. Protein keeps you fuller for longer. And you need protein for the repair of your body. So let's look at putting some protein onto your plate if it's not there now. And if you are someone who is pushing yourself physically and going to the gym and doing the I don't want to be here, look at it in a way you can do it differently. Look at a way you can move your body differently that you enjoy. So we're reducing that intensity instead of increasing it. And maybe it's just about you speaking nicely to yourself. Maybe it's about you being kind to yourself. Think about that. How often are you beating yourself up in the head, which is giving you this ongoing stress? Let's cut that out. Let's start being kind to ourselves. And notice, how does your body respond when you support it instead of pushing it? Maybe you might like to say, this is a reflection for you, and you can write this down. Where have I been trying to control my body instead of listening to it? And then the next thing will be, okay, how can I do it differently? And use some of these action points that I've just shared with you now of how you could do it differently. We want to start listening to our body, and then we want to start nourishing it with self-care and self-love. That's what I want for you today. Tomorrow we're going to talk about motivation, why it disappears, why you think I don't have any willpower, Caroline, and how you can reignite all of that so that it sustains you and that you have a mindset that promotes you. You're doing exactly what you need to be doing. You're here. You're open to a new way of thinking. You're open to a new approach. And that is what I want for you in this challenge, is to be open to this new approach that up until now, it's sort of like, it's like sliding door moments. Up until now, you have been doing the best you can with the resources that you've had available to you. And that's absolutely okay. It may not have been a fun journey for you. It might have been a really annoying roller coaster, but that's where you are. But now you're here at this crossroad and you're going, okay, I can continue on the same path to do the same thing to get the same results. Or I can open my mind to a new path, to a new approach, to new results. And as I said yesterday, it's creating this awareness around who you are and what you're thinking and what you're doing is how your body's responding. And potentially, up until now, it has been in this protection safety mode. But when we make the changes at the subconscious level and then create this whole toolbox, wellness and weight loss toolbox that's going to promote and support you, you're going to get the results that you truly desire. And that's exciting. So have a fabulous, fabulous day today, evening, nighttime, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. And I will look forward to seeing you on day 3. Reach out if you have any questions. Don't hesitate to hit me on the email, and I will speak to you very soon. Bye for now. Turn off that button, Caroline.